Good afternoon. This is Scott from Scott Shot Media. Today is Wednesday, October 7th, and this is what is happening on the mountain. Quick overview of what we're going to talk about today. Currently, there are 5 Caltrans projects affecting your commute. We'll go over those in greater detail with you. As far as our weather is concerned, no hazardous weather forecasted right now. We continue to see our temps dropping, and may even see a slight chance of some rain over the weekend. Big question marks there, and I don't know if it lines up properly. Maybe even a little snow. Maybe we'll see. And then Monday we might have return of a light Santa Ana wind condition. Our fire danger remains elevated, although with the cooler temperatures and that possibility of some rain over the weekend, we could see that danger diminish just slightly, at least until those Santa Anas come back. We've got a first update in a few days of the Eldorado Fire. The acreage has remained the same at 22,744, but they have increased the containment to 95%. The rain isn't likely to bring the containment to 100% if we do get any. They're only forecasting maybe 0.2 of an inch, but it certainly won't hurt. And then yesterday, if you're following along, we did have a small fire reported in Lake Arrowhead, and it was quickly contained. It was just a 25 by 75 foot spot. 9 crimes reported so far this week across the mountain. Only one Southern California Edison power outage today, and that actually might even be those services might even be restored by now. But over there in the Eldorado Fire area, there's still 612 customers without power, as the crews work to repair the damaged infrastructure. There are 4 new COVID cases reported so far this week, and we did have a couple of very small earthquakes reported in Big Bear yesterday. So that's all I got for you today. If you have some time to stick around, we'll go into greater detail, starting with traffic. There is a whole bunch of activity going on in the mountains today. Lots of Caltrans closures, lane control, pilot cars, starting on Highway 18 between Couple Canyon and Knob Hill. So from Sky Forest over to Running Springs. You're down to 1 lane at times as crews are doing some pavement work, and that's till about 3 o'clock today. Over in the Big Bear area between Cienega and Spruce, Caltrans has you down to 1 lane as they do some utility work until about 3 o'clock today. On Highway 38, from Old Mill to the Santa Ana River, a long stretch here. You're down for 2 separate projects. One's a crack seal operation and then some more emergency work, all of that related to the fire. And Highway 189, lastly, we have some utility work going on over by the Twin Peaks Conference Center. And then overnight, tonight, last night, tomorrow night, long-term project where the interchanges could be closed at times from 8 p.m. to 7 a.m. As Caltrans does construction down there. Next, our weather going to continue to cool off through the weekend. Saturday through Sunday, there is a slight chance, about 20% or so, for some light showers. They're expecting about 0.2 of an inch if we do get any. Nothing to really ruin your weekend over. But what's interesting is the lows, especially over here in the Big Bear, higher elevation. The lows will be at or slightly below freezing. And so if the timing works out properly, there might even be a chance for some dusting of snow, or for snow of the season. So we'll keep a closer eye on that. After Sunday, we expect to see some clearing skies, warming temperatures, with this low pressure system moving out of the area, being replaced by high pressure system, and the return of a light Santa Ana wind event. No hazardous weather forecasted today. Monday, we do see some weak Santa Ana winds forecasted. that's still developing. They were supposed to be stronger. They were about 15 miles an hour forecasted on my last report. Today, they don't look like they're going to be much more than 5 to 10 miles an hour. So almost the same as our daily afternoon breezes. The only difference is it'll be coming from the desert. So they'll be a little warmer and have a less humidity associated with them. Fires, we continue to be under a moderate risk of new fire development as well as fire spread. We expect to see that improve through the weekend until the Santa Ana event next week. The forest floor is still under extreme fire danger, so those restrictions are still in place, and the forest appears, I believe they're going to keep it closed for this weekend as well. That might change with this rain event that might happen, so we'll see. And then our long-term forecast remains the same. We're at a slightly elevated or above average fire threat through the end of the year, which is, again, normal for this time of year. As far as fires go, a lot of false alarms, a lot of smoke checks, barbecues being reported. There was one fire, an actual fire yesterday over here in the Twin Peaks area, Lake Arrowhead, Twin Peaks, over by the golf course. It was just a small spot, 25 feet by 75 feet. Crews got it knocked down pretty quickly. The only other update is to our Eldorado Fire. We finally, after a few days of no reporting, saw that there is an increase to 95% containment. So it hasn't been putting out much heat. I've been checking the radar every day. There isn't a whole lot of hot spots. But when they do find a hot spot, when one does flare up, they have aircraft quickly come down and cool it off, dropping some water on it, or get crews in there to cool it off. So don't be surprised if you see smoke. And although the rain will be nice, it's not likely to completely put that fire out. It would probably need several inches of rain or snow in order to get the fire completely out because it did burn so hot. We had 9 crimes reported across the mountain over the past 48 hours or so. Over here in Crestline, there were 2, VOE, there were 2 incidents. 2 people arrested for narcotics. Over in Crestline, several additional separate incidents involving drugs over there on Fern and Pioneer Camp and Straightway. And then over on Fern, there was some stuff stolen from somebody's house or yard. Over in the Big Bear Valley area, there was a negligent discharge of a firearm at Big Bear Lake, an assault over here in Big Bear Lake. Over in Moon Ridge, there was some vandalism reported and a person arrested in Big Bear City for being under the influence of a controlled substance. Power outages, only one small scheduled outage today over in Running Springs, and that might actually already be done. Only 19 customers were affected because there were some equipment problems that needed repair. But over here in Forest Falls, there's still 612 customers without power due to fire damage. We had 2 small earthquakes reported in the Big Bear area yesterday. This is a pretty common spot over here between Lucerne Valley and Big Bear, not too far from where the Landers earthquake was a number of years ago, 1.7 and a 3.4 yesterday morning and afternoon. Lastly, COVID-19 updates. The county has done something a little different with how they were reporting it, and using a risk matrix very similar to the way the state has been using for the 4-tier risk system. So you can see where your community is, and then how does that relate to what the state considers your COVID risk to be. So Angeles Oaks, you still have 3 cases as of yesterday. You haven't got the numbers yet for today, which puts you at a minimal risk. 3 new cases reported in Big Bear City. Widespread risk, 59 Big Bear Lake, you're holding there at a minimum risk. 12 cases in Blue Jay, minimum risk. Cedar Glen was interesting. For months, we've been reporting 7 cases in Cedar Glen, and this week that dropped down to 0. I'm not quite sure why, if there's a clerical error there now, or if there was an error before. I kind of felt like 7 for the small community of Cedar Glen was a lot, anyways. But we'll try to get some clarification from the county on that. 76 cases in Crestline makes that widespread. 3 for Fawnskin minimum. 7 for Forest Falls minimum. 1 for Green Valley Lake minimum. 36 for Lake Arrowhead substantial. 4 cases in Rim Forest substantial. 1 new case in Running Springs moderate. 13 cases in Sugarloaf substantial, and 12 cases in Twin Peaks is substantial. So how does that look in your neighborhood? If you are in the Bear Valley area, so the Big Bear Lake, Big Bear City, Forest Falls, Angeles Oaks, and Mount Home Village, your overall risk is moderate. Rim communities, Crestline, Lake Arrowhead, Running Springs, and the surrounding, your risk tier is moderate as well. So mountain-wide, we're at a moderate risk compared to the rest of the county, which is a substantial risk. California is substantial. United States is currently a widespread risk, and the rest of the world is under substantial. So that's how we're faring. We're hoping to see the numbers improve so that we can drop down as a county to the moderate risk so that we can start seeing some things opening up. So that's all I got for you today. Again, Scott from Scott Shot Media. Feel free to message me, email me, or follow along on any of our social media outlets. Have a wonderful day.